Look at the world around you. Listen to it. It is a cacophony of desperate noise. Everyone is screaming. Everyone is broadcasting. Men walk through the streets with their eyes glued to screens, their ears plugged with synthetic sound, terrified of a single moment of quiet. They broadcast their plans. They live stream their emotions. They type out their rage in comment sections that vanish into the ether. They beg to be seen. They beg to be heard. They believe that volume is power. They believe that visibility is existence. They are wrong. In the animal kingdom, the prey makes noise. The gazelle bleats when it is frightened. The bird chirps to signal its position. But the predator? The predator approaches in silence. The tiger does not announce the kill until the teeth are already in the neck. The shark does not roar before it strikes from the deep. Power does not make a sound. Power is the void that swallows sound. You are here because you feel it. You feel the weakness of your own tongue. You have spoken when you should have listened. You have explained yourself to men who did not deserve an explanation. You have revealed your plans only to see them dissolve because you let the energy leak out of your mouth before you poured it into your actions. You are leaking power. Every day, drop by drop, word by word, you are bleeding out. It is time to cauterize the wound. We look to the east. We look to the greatest swordsman who ever walked the earth, Miyamoto Musashi, a man who fought 60 duels to the death and never lost. A man who wrote the Book of 5 Rings not with ink, but with the residue of a lifetime of combat. Musashi did not win by shouting. He did not win by debating his opponents. He won through coup, the void, the emptiness. To be untouchable, you must become like the void. You must learn the art of aggressive silence. This is not the silence of the coward who is afraid to speak. This is the silence of the mountain that dominates the landscape without uttering a word. This is the silence of the abyss that stares back. Tonight, we descend. We leave the surface noise behind. We are going to strip away the chatter, the excuses, and the validation seeking that has made you soft. We are going to forge a mind that is silent, dark, and utterly dangerous. Why do you talk? Ask yourself this with brutal honesty. When there is a pause in the conversation, why do you rush to fill it? You do it because you are afraid. You are afraid of the tension. You are afraid that if you do not speak, you will disappear. You explain your actions because you seek approval. You seek permission. I'm going to start a business, you say. I'm going to get in shape, you promise. I'm going to change my life, you declare. The moment you speak these words, you have lost. The energy required to do the work has been spent on the announcement. You have received the dopamine hit of the accomplishment without suffering the pain of the labor. You have tricked your brain into thinking you are a conqueror when you are merely a town crier. Musashi teaches us that the sword that remains in the sheath holds the most mystery. When you draw the blade, the enemy knows its length. He knows its steel. He knows how to counter it. But the sheathed blade? It is infinite possibility. It is terror. A man who explains himself is a man who is submitting. When you explain your choices to your boss, to your partner, to your peers, you are subconsciously asking, is this okay? Am I acceptable? Stop. Cut the tongue. From this moment on, you offer no explanations. You offer no complaints. You do not tell people what you are going to do. You show them what you have done. Imagine the shift in the room. Imagine a conflict at work or an argument in your home. The other person is emotional, erratic, firing words like frantic arrows. They expect you to fire back. They expect you to engage in the dance of noise. Instead, you give them nothing. You look at them with eyes that are calm, dead still, unreadable. You do not interrupt. You do not defend. You wait. In that silence, they will begin to crumble. They will overtalk to fill the void you have created. They will reveal their insecurities, their lies, their true intentions. They will break themselves against the rock of your silence. Silence is not passive. It is a mirror. By refusing to engage in the noise, you force the world to see its own reflection. And for most people, that reflection is terrifying. When you speak, let it be heavy. Let your words weigh 1,000 pounds each. If you speak only when necessary, people will lean in. They will crave your input because it is rare. Scarcity creates value. Gold is valuable because it is hard to find. Dust is worthless because it is everywhere. Do not be dust. Be gold. Be the stone that sinks to the bottom of the ocean and remains there, immovable. Musashi wrote in his final scroll, the Dokudo. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. He meant attachment. He meant reaction. The modern man is a puppet. His strings are pulled by everything around him. A traffic jam pulls the string of anger. A disrespectful comment pulls the string of insecurity. A woman's glance pulls the string of desire. He is constantly dancing to a tune he did not choose. He is reactive. He is easily read. To be untouchable, you must sever these strings. This is the silence of emotion. It does not mean you do not feel. It means you do not broadcast. A Stoic does not deny the storm. He builds a shelter that the storm cannot penetrate. Think of the ocean. On the surface there are waves. There is white foam, crashing and churning. This is where most men live, tossed around by the weather of circumstance. But dive down. Go 10 meters deep. Go 100 meters deep. What is there? Stillness, pressure, darkness. The storm on the surface does not disturb the deep water. You must cultivate this depth. When insult comes your way, you do not flare up like dry tinder. You absorb it. You let it sink into the dark water. You watch it dissolve. The man who reacts is the man who can be controlled. If I know that an insult will make you angry, I own you. If I know that praise will make you arrogant, I own you. I can steer you like a horse with a bit in its mouth. Musashi faced opponents who tried to rattle him. They would arrive late to duels. They would insult his lineage. They would try to break his composure before the swords even touched. If Musashi had reacted with anger, he would have been blind. He would have swung wildly. He would have died. Instead, he met their fire with ice. He arrived even later. He looked through them. He made them wait in his void. He made them angry. And when they attacked in a blind rage, he cut them down with a single, dispassionate stroke. You must become unoffendable. Not because you are weak, but because you are above the offense. The opinion of a sheep does not concern the wolf. The buzzing of a fly does not concern the mountain. When you feel the surge of emotion, the heat in the chest, the tightening of the jaw, pause. Impose a gap between the trigger and the response. In that gap, you find your freedom. In that gap, you sharpen your blade. Do not give the world the satisfaction of seeing you bleed. Do not show them your pain, your frustration, or your fear. Keep your face like a mask of iron. Let them wonder what you are thinking. Let them guess. The man who cannot be read cannot be defeated. Sun Tzu, the ancient strategist who walked the same path as the samurai, said, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." This is the silence of intent. We live in an age of oversharing. Men post their workouts. They post their business ideas. They post their relationship status. They broadcast their location. They are desperate to prove they are alive. But the warrior hides his hand. If you are building something, build it in the dark. Let the results be the only noise you make. There is a terrifying power in the man who achieves greatness without ever announcing his ambition. One day, he is simply there, standing on the summit, while the others are still talking about the climb. Why do you tell people your strategy? Do you think they want you to succeed? Listen closely. Most people want you to do well, but not better than them. When you reveal your intent, you invite sabotage. You invite doubt. You invite the subtle, poisonous envy of those who lack your discipline. "Are you sure that's a good idea?" they will ask. "That sounds risky," they will whisper. These seeds of doubt will take root in your mind. They will slow you down. Keep your counsel. Walk the path alone. Musashi was a ronin, a masterless samurai. He walked the length of Japan, sleeping in the rain, training in the forests, isolating himself to perfect his art. He did not seek a master. He did not seek a cheering crowd. He sought the truth of the sword. You must learn to be comfortable with being misunderstood. In fact, you should welcome it. If people think you are drifting, let them. If they think you are failing, let them. If they think you are foolish, let them. While they judge the surface, you are working in the deep. You are forging the steel. This applies to every aspect of your life. Do not tell your woman everything you feel. Keep a part of yourself for yourself. A man who is an open book is a boring read. Mystery creates attraction. Mystery creates respect. Do not tell your enemy what you are capable of. Let him underestimate you. Let him think you are weak. Let him think you are slow. And then, when the moment is right, when the gap opens, you strike. You strike with the accumulated power of all the silence you have hoarded. The thunderbolt does not warn the tree. It simply strikes. We have spoken of the silence of the tongue, the silence of emotion, and the silence of intent. These are external. These are the armor you wear. But now we must go deeper. We must go to the core. We must speak of the silence within. Musashi called this ku, the void. This is the hardest discipline of all. You can shut your mouth. You can hide your plans. But can you shut off the noise inside your own skull? The modern mind is a torture chamber. It is a constant loop of anxiety, regret, fantasy, and fear. You replay arguments from 5 years ago. You rehearse conversations that will never happen. You worry about calamities that are statistically impossible. This internal noise is the enemy. It clouds your perception. It slows your reflexes. When a warrior's mind is full of noise, he hesitates. He thinks about the technique. He thinks about the outcome. He thinks about dying. In that fraction of a second of thought, the blade of the enemy finds his neck. Musashi taught that the mind must be like water. Water reflects the moon exactly as it is. It does not add to the image. It does not subtract. It simply reflects. If your mind is turbulent, if the water is churning with thoughts, you cannot see the truth. You cannot see the opportunity. You cannot see the reality of the moment. You seek flow state. Flow state is simply the absence of internal noise. It is the moment when the thinker and the thought become one. The dancer becomes the dance. The warrior becomes the sword. How do you achieve this? You achieve it through the ruthless practice of presence. When you walk, just walk. Do not think about the destination. Feel the ground. When you eat, just eat. Taste the food. When you train, just train. Feel the iron. When the thoughts come, and they will come, swarming like flies, you do not fight them. You do not argue with them. You simply return to the void. You return to the breath. You return to the sensation of existing. You must kill the ego. The ego is the source of the noise. The ego is the part of you that chatters, that defends, that demands. The ego is the terrified child. The void is the death of the ego. In the void, there is no I. There is only the action. There is only the cut. Imagine a mind so clear, so empty, that nothing can stick to it. Trauma cannot stick. Fear cannot stick. Insults cannot stick. They pass through like wind through a bamboo grove. The bamboo sways, and then it returns to stillness. It does not hold on to the wind. This is the ultimate freedom. To be empty is to be full of everything. To be silent is to be ready for anything. You are afraid of this silence. I know you are. That is why you are addicted to the scroll. That is why you cannot sit in a room alone for 15 minutes without reaching for a device. That is why you need background noise to sleep. Because if you turn it all off, if you let the silence truly descend, you will have to meet yourself. And you do not like who you are. You will hear the accusations of your own potential. In the silence, your conscience screams. It tells you that you are wasting your life. It tells you that you are weak. It tells you that you are a coward. So you drown it out. You choose the noise because the noise is a sedative. The noise tells you that everything is fine. The noise distracts you from the rotting of your soul. But this is not comfort. This is a slow death. Musashi lived in caves. He lived in the brutal reality of life and death. He did not run from the silence. He embraced it, because he knew that in the silence lay the truth. Today, you face a choice. You can continue to be a leaf in the wind, blown about by the noise of the world, chattering and shaking until you wither and rot. Or, you can become the wind itself. You can stop the leak. You can seal the vessel. Imagine what you could become if you stopped pouring your energy into words. Imagine the density of your presence. A man walks into a room. He says nothing. He needs nothing. He observes everything. He is grounded, heavy, dangerous. His eyes are calm. He does not smile to please others. He does not speak to fill the air. When he moves with purpose. When he speaks, the room stops to listen. This man is a king. This man is a warrior. This man is free. This man can be you. But you must pay the price. And the price is your addiction to noise. From this moment forward, let the silence be your standard. Treat your words like bullets, irretrievable and deadly. Do not fire them at random. Aim. Starve the world of your reactions. Let them scream. Let them cry. Let them misunderstand you. You stand on the shore of your own ocean, looking into the deep. Sharpen the mind. Clear the static. Enter the void. The world is loud. The fool is loud. The victim is loud. But the master? The master is silent. And in that silence, he is invincible. Walk the path. Hold the tongue. Watch the world reveal itself to you. The cut is instant. The silence is eternal. Begin.